Hello, everybody. So here with me, I have Mr. Jaime Mancera, or as he goes artistically known as JMancera. Is that correct? Or
That's correct. Yes. Hi, how are you?
am I saying it correctly, or is there a special way?
No, that's correctly. Jaime Mancera.
JMancera. All right. So he's an established saxophone virtuoso who has been in the music industry for more than 30 years. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Wow.
I started when I was 16.
That's amazing. Yeah, and so he has accomplished many musical decorations, including a nomination for a Latin Grammy as part of a band called as Alpha Ocho. So we're gonna discuss a little bit more about that later in the interview. All right. So let's begin with your early years as a musician in Colombia, where you're from. So where did it all begin, Mr. Mancera? How did you fall in love with music in the first place? And who were your first mentors?
Well, yeah. First of all, how everybody? It's a pleasure having you and having that you having me in this interview, and it will be a pleasure for me to give you all my information. I started when I was in public school, and there was a band. There was a teacher. They were teaching music for bands, and I had the opportunity to form part of the band as a saxophone player. So I started my first introduction to the saxophone in the school.
And how old were you?
I was 16. I was 16 when I started. I was 16, so I starting practicing. I was lucky that I had a good teacher that became my friend. So he used to live close to my house, by the way. So I took advantage about him in order to become a friend, first of all. Second, I used to write and have good music writing and how to say the calligraphy. So he was getting his degree in music. So he told me to give me all the scores, and he said, "Could you copy all this music in clean paper?" And at that time, they were not.
So no printers and.
Yeah, no. So I said, "Okay, I'll do it." He said, pay me that. I will teach you harmony and I'll teach you all things about music." And I said, "Okay." And I started writing all these papers. He gave me the scores, and I was copying all.
So that's like a win-win, because you were already learning.
Yeah.
How to write composition before.
Yeah, in high school. So I participated after 3 years of being so aggressive, practicing practically 4 or 5 hours a day after class.
So you had 4 or 5 hours a day every day?
Practice? Yeah. After I finished high school at 12:30, and I had the opportunity to practice as a in the school. They give me the keys of the room to practice.
Wow.
They don't never charge me. They say, you cannot take the saxophone home, but you can practice here. Here is the keys. So I became friend of everybody in the school. So I was the only musician practicing late hours because nobody.
And what school was that? What city?
It was in Bogota. I'm sorry, it was in Bogota, and the institution was called INEM. I participated in one of the festivals, first national festival in composition, and I participated and I won the contest in the whole country. It was 22 participants in the whole series, the whole Colombia, and I won the contest in composition.
The contest in composition.
Yeah, I've composed my first lyrics and music for 16 pieces of music band.
How were you when you got that award?
I was 18 years old.
Wow, that's amazing. What drew you to the saxophone? Why did you choose the saxophone in particular?
So the only saxophone available at that time was the baritone. So I was almost the same size of the baritone. So I put it in my mouth and I started practicing the saxophone every day.
And that was it, right?
Yeah, that's what I started. So in other words, my teacher gave me the fair instructions how to blow the instrument, how to put their fingers in the instrument, and then the rest was my own dedication. My advice always for everybody that is a musician is always thinking big, never think small. think big and dream big, and you try to get big. Because you think small, you get nothing. You have to be very aggressive with yourself and not be disappointed. Because every single time you like, don't give up, because you never know what is coming in the front. When you like something, you don't give up. You keep going, keep going, keep going, and you will see the fruits of that effort that you do all the time.
That's how I feel. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the mentality I have right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, don't give up. And always knock doors in order to get information. If you don't get the one door open to get information, go to the next one until you get what you want.
All right, that's good advice.
Yeah, never give up. Always ask. Always there will be somebody to give you information.
After you became an established professional and people knew you, tell us a little bit more about those years when you became a session artist, a band member. You were also a composer. How was your experience, touring with you on your website, on your biography? You tour with Leonardo Fabio. He's a established musician.
He died almost 2 years ago. He was a very famous Argentinian singer. And the first concert was for the Miss Ecuador in Quito, Ecuador. I never had so much people in front of me. This is funny. When I was going to the stage was they opened to get on the stage. You get in the center of the stage. So when I get in front of the stage, the artist say to me, "You go first because you are the new one in the band. So you go. You open the stage." So when I got upstairs, there was approximately almost 35,000 people in front of me.
Wow.
And they were like, "Wow!" When people were screaming, and I get so nervous. And I knew, and I have to start the thing with the flute, and I keep really nervous here. I confess I screw up like a couple of notes at in the middle of the concert, and when I finished the whole thing, and I said we were in the limousine, and I said to the artist, I gotta confess this, I really don't play flute really. I just did it. I started playing the flute from a week ago, and the artist say, "We noticed that, so you have this weekend to make the concert perfectly. If you don't make it, you get your ticket to go to your country."
Right.
So I was in the hotel working
music business, right?
Yeah. So I started. I practice, and I get the papers, and I was very sure that I was not going to miss a note and making everything perfect in those papers. And I started working with him like 3 years and a half. I think in life you have to take risks, and I challenge yourself. It could be a disgrace, but if you trust yourself,
right,
and you are self-confident that you can make it, you just make an effort. Everything has to be an effort. You like a focus, and you can make it. It was, yeah.
So talking about New York, you mentioned New York. You became part of that New York City music scene for about 25 years. Is that correct?
Yeah. After I moved to New York, yes. Yeah. I was playing with all these Puerto Rican parties in New York and on Fifth Avenue. I played with in the Copacabana nightclub for 9 years, and I played with different bands and different projects. You go to New York, you practically you have to compete. When you have to compete, you're a grain of sand in the beach. So you have to, in order to keep going, you have to compete, you have to study, you have to practice, you have to make effort to do better, and for reading, for better sound, for better improvisations, and trying to, you have to compete in order to get booked from other bands or get work. So I think coming to a city like New York, the city that never sleeps. So practically, you have to work hard to compete. There are hundreds good musicians in New York. So if you don't do that, you don't practice, or you don't you don't, you stop studying, you are out.
You had a chance to record your first full-length solo album, right? Called Mancera 5,
Yeah,
2016, right? That's what you're
yeah,
mentioning right now. After learning all those things, you had I feel that you're saying you had the knowledge and the confidence to actually
yeah,
put it down and create an actual album. And from what you said, I hear influences from cumbia to rock and roll
yeah,
to different rhythms, and it's all very, it sounds very uplifting.
yeah.
All the tracks there, very nice to hear. Yeah, I was listening to it and actually made me, I was in a better mood after I listened to it. I was in like a little bit of better mood, and I like the rhythm. So what were your creative approaches to this album, and what other influences you had to the album? And also, did you arrange and compose the entire album, or was it a yeah, did you have somebody else with you that was helping you out, or did you produce it, or did you go somewhere else to get the production done?
Um,
How was that
uh,
process?
because I was working in a Latin market all the time, so I was sort of limited. I just wanted to cross to the American market, and
Right.
you see, my album is mostly all the titles of the songs are in English. So I just trying to get in the American market, in the Anglo market.
Right.
So all the melodies, the melodies are mine, the compositions are mine, the arrangements are mine, and I contract a guy in order to help me and come on like a production in order to help me, because I don't have the connections in order to find a certain kind of musician that I needed. So
Right.
some kind of help. I pay for that in order to help me as a part of the production. But to be honest, I did the production by myself with
So you put
orientation
everything
and
together.
someone else.
You put the drums together, the
Uh, I,
harmony, the
I
melody, the
yeah, yes, I contract the musicians to record my arrangements.
okay, that's fantastic. And everything, the chord progression, you recorded it yourself playing the piano, or you had the musicians and you just focused on the saxophone? How was it?
No, I made arrangements. I wrote the arrangements and I put everything in paper, and then I made rehearsal and put the musicians to play what I wrote, and then I play my melodies on top of that. So and then I record the whole thing. I put my melodies on top. But they are original arrangements. They are the melodies are original. Everything is my own ideas. Nothing is coming from somebody else.
What have been your greatest accomplishments as an artist? You feel your greatest accomplishment as an artist?
Can I
Maybe.
tell you the truth?
Yes. Yes.
Is when you do what you like and you feel I can do it. You understand? You say that's the accomplishment for me, or for me, like I wanted to make an album for my own without being influenced by somebody. You got to write this or do that. No, I do it by myself with my
Right.
own ideas, my own melodies, my own composition. I can register my music. It's mine, belongs to me. I can do whatever with the music. I can also sell that music for other purpose, for a movie, or commercial, whatever. But it's my music. If someday I have the opportunity to make one song in the market, it's mine. It's not somebody else. I got tired about playing for everybody else and making music for everybody else, and I had the fortune to make something for me. So my accomplishment is I did what I want for me.
What are some of your future plans right now? Future music?
Now that the things are with this pandemic, and my plan right now is to reorganize myself and then try to compose more and make new arrangements and make a new EP, album, the 4 songs.
So thank you so much. I'm gonna let you go so you can do your things. I know you're a busy guy.
Okay,
family.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.